Here on YouTube at Sports Bonanza John and on Kick at Sports Kick John. Ready for the finale of this three-game series and Sunday Night Baseball. Rangers and the Tigers. Rubber game of this three-game series between these two teams. We'll set the lineups and set the batting order for you momentarily. First of all, let's pray. Lord Jesus, thank you for this day. Thank you for looking over us, Lord. Look over these players and fans tonight. Please keep everyone safe and continue to look over us and protect us as well, Lord. As we ask this and pray this in your mighty name. Amen. All right, here we go. Rangers and Tigers rubber game of the three-game series. Tigers come in right at the 500 mark, 17-17, second place in the American League Central. Rangers come in a game under 500, 16-17. They sit in second place in the American League West. Pitching matchup tonight in this game, Jack Leiter on the mound tonight for the Rangers. He will take on Tyler Holton, getting the start tonight for the Tigers. As these two teams wrap up this three-game series. Back on Friday when this series began, Rangers took the opener 5-4 in a tight one on Friday night. Tigers winning last night's game 5-1 to set up this rubber game of this series. Let's take a look at the batting order for this game tonight. First for the Texas Rangers. I mentioned 16-17 on the season. They will line up this way. Leading it off and DHing tonight for the Rangers is Brandon Nimmo. Batting second for the Rangers, playing right field, Andrew McCutchen, coming over to the Rangers from Pittsburgh, where he spent a majority of his career before coming over to Texas this year. Batting third and playing shortstop tonight is Corey Seager. In the cleanup position tonight is third baseman Josh Young. Batting fifth and playing first base is Jake Berger. In the sixth position tonight is center fielder Evan Carter. Batting seventh for Texas will be the left fielder, Ezekiel Duran. Batting eighth and playing second base is Josh Smith. And batting ninth and catching tonight for the Rangers, Kyle Higashioka. So the Texas lineup, Nimmo, McCutchen, Seager, Young, Berger, Carter, Duran, Smith, Higashioka. And on the mound tonight for the Tigers is Tyler Holton. Holton coming on. This is his first start of the season. For Holton, 0-1 record, 5.54 ERA. Not a great walk-to-strikeout ratio. 8 walks and 9 strikeouts in 13 innings. So he will look to improve on that and getting his first start of the season against this Texas Rangers team, who come in at 16-17. They sit a game and a half behind I can't believe I don't think anybody thought I'd be saying this at this point. It is still early in the season, but they sit in a game and a half behind the AL West leading Athletics. Athletics winning earlier today, 7-1 over Cleveland. Tigers come in sitting a half game behind first place Cleveland in the American League Central. So a lot riding on this series. I know we're only in May, but we're getting to the point now. We're seeing a lot of upside down standings in Major League Baseball. You got the Athletics leading the American League West. And then meanwhile, you look over probably maybe the best division in baseball right now over in the National League Central. Every team sitting over 500 in the National League Central right now. So that's looking like it may be if this keeps up, could be a 3 playoff team division over there in the National League Central this year. But these two teams, Rangers try to get back to the 500 mark. Tigers try to move over 500. With a win tonight. Winner gets the series. Tigers will stay at home to take on the Red Sox for a series starting tomorrow. So this is a big series here as we're getting now into May here. Rangers have the day off tomorrow before heading to the Bronx to start a series with the red-hot New York Yankees, who won again today. They've now won 13 out of 15. Matter of fact, let's run down the Major League Baseball scoreboard before we begin things tonight. The Twins pick up a 4-3 win over the Blue Jays, avoid the sweep there as Toronto was going for the sweep. I mentioned the red-hot Yankees. They won again 11-3 over the Orioles today. Talking about that National League Central, the Pirates, they complete a 3-game sweep of the Reds, winning 1-0 today in a pitcher's duel, unlike yesterday where the Pirates put 17 on the board. Astros get the 3-1 10-inning win at Fenway today over the Red Sox to take 2 of 3 in that series. Nationals pick up a 3-2 win over the Brewers to avoid the sweep there. Phillies 7, Marlins 2. Phillies have been playing a lot better since Don Mattingly took over as manager after the dismissal of Rob Thompson about a week or so ago. Rays complete the sweep of the Giants with a 2-1 10-inning win tonight. Dodgers win in St. Louis today. They have to avoid the sweep there, winning 4-1. Cubs win their 11th in a row at Wrigley. They defeat the Diamondbacks today, 8-4. Braves pick up the win in Denver over the Rockies, 11-6. Braves complete the 3-game sweep there. Braves already running away with the National League East right now. Mentioned the A's. They won today earlier over Cleveland, 7-1. Mets 5, Angels 1 in Anaheim today. Padres pick up a 4-3 win over the White Sox, and the Royals defeat the Mariners 4-1. That's the rest of the Major League Baseball scoreboard on this Sunday. But we are just about set here for the Rangers Tigers. Here, and Brandon Nimmo will lead it off for the Rangers. Nimmo hitting .302 on the season. He's got 4. 61 degrees at first pitch in downtown Detroit, and for a ball. A lot of fans filing in. Well, I'm sure from Little Caesars Arena earlier and watched their hometown Detroit Pistons eliminate the Magic in the NBA earlier today. 1-0, a swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. By the way, the umpiring crew tonight, Brandon Miller behind the plate calling the ball. Ryan Blakeney at second base, and Hudson, the umpire, over third. 1-1 is a swing and a miss from Brandon Nimmo, and to 1-2. Looks in and delivers the 1-2 pitch to Brandon Nimmo to start off this game. Check swing and a little outside. Count goes to 2-2. I think I said Tyler Hudson. I had Tyler Holton on the mound for the Tigers. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's hit foul. Count will stay 2-2. We'll keep you updated as well on other sports action. Keep you updated on that Game 7 between the Raptors and Cavaliers tonight as the night goes on. 2-2 pitch is up the middle and a base hit. Brandon Nimmo starts the night with a single to center field. And that will bring up Andrew McCutchen. McCutchen on the season, hitting just .195. Slow offensive start on the year for McCutchen. Has 1 home run. He's drove in 5. Pitch to McCutchen, ball 1 upstairs. 1-0 pitch on the way is down low. They're going to check over at first base, and McCutchen did not swing. Counts now 2-0. Two-0 pitch. There's a strike called, and the count will go now to 2-1 on Andrew McCutchen. Two-one pitch. That's a little low, and the count goes to 3-1 now on Andrew McCutchen. Mention we'll keep you updated on that Game 7 of the Raptors-Cavaliers. Also keep you updated on the Stanley Cup playoffs Game 7 between the Canadiens and the Lightning. That game is underway in Tampa. 3-1, a swing and a miss. Counts now 3-2. Actually, the Canadiens have an early 1-0 lead. Or actually, I say early. It's midway through the second period. Winner of that game moves on to round 2. Here's the 3-2 payoff pitch. Hit foul, third base side. McCutchen stays alive. Crowd still filing in at Comerica Park on an early Sunday evening. 3-2 payoff pitch is hit down the right field line, and it's going to stay in fair territory. And the catch made out there in right field by Perez for out number 1. So McCutchen flies out to right, and it'll bring up Corey Seager, the Ranger shortstop. Hitting .212 on the season, 6 home runs. He's drove in 17. He's tied for team high in home runs on this Rangers team. Holton looks in and delivers the first pitch to Seager right down the middle for strike 1. Pitch to Seager is downstairs. That'll even the count of ball and a strike. Runner at first for the Rangers on the leadoff single by Nimmo. And the 1-1 pitch to Seager is right there at the knees for strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes now the count on Corey Seager. Cleanup hitter Josh Young is on deck. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Seager went after a low one. And Holton picks up his first strikeout. 2 down, it'll bring up Young. Team leader in batting average at .327, 4 home runs. He's drove in 19. And with that, Holton has just thrown his last pitch of the game as the Tigers are going to the bullpen with 2 outs here in the first inning. Brennan Hanafy coming into the game to pitch for the Tigers. Hanafy on for just the 3rd time this year. No record, no runs allowed. Does have 1 strikeout, and he's pitched 2 innings this year. So a short start tonight on the first start of the season for Tyler Holton. It's 2/3 of an inning. He is responsible for the runner on first base. These two teams will meet again at the beginning of July, over the 4th of July, actually, for a series in Arlington. So we're going to see Hannafy into the game, pitch to Josh Young. So it is going to be one of those bullpen games tonight for the Tigers. So here we go. Hannafy on to face Josh Young with the runner at first and 2 outs here in the Ranger first. The pitch is bounced foul behind home plate, strike 1. Strike 1 pitch is lifted in the air to right. Perez will not be able to get to this one as it's into the first row. It's 0-2. Hannafy ahead of Young, 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's lined into right field and in for a base hit. Rounding second and holding, actually, at second is Nimmo. He made the wide turn but put on the brakes. So the Rangers have runners at first and second with 2 outs for Jake Burger. Burger on the season hitting .223, 6 home runs. He's drove in 20. He is the RBI leader on this Texas team. First and second, 2 outs. An early Rangers threat here in the first. Strike 1 at the knees to Burger. Hannafy trying to get this third out of the first inning and keep the Rangers off the scoreboard. Strike 1 pitch is line foul right side, and Burger's now behind 0-2. Nimmo at second, Young at first, the 2 Ranger base runners. Hannafy steps off momentarily prior to the 0-2 pitch. Hannafy looks on and delivers the 0-2 pitch. That's way outside. A ball and 2 strikes now, the count on Jake Burger. One-two pitch. Bounced foul. Burger stays alive. A ball and 2 strikes. Burger ready to go, as is Hannafy. And here's another 1-2 pitch. Just getting a piece of that one was Burger. And also might have gotten a piece of the catcher, Rogers, there for the Tigers. Yeah, that did get a little bit of Jake Rogers behind the plate there. But he walks it off and is back ready to go. And receiving the 1-2 once again. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Got Burger to chase a low one, and the Rangers strand 2 in the top of the first. We head to the bottom of the first. Rangers nothing. Tigers coming up. And here is the Tigers batting order they will send out tonight. Leading it off for the Tigers will be the shortstop, Kevin McGonigal. Batting second in center field, Matt Vierling. In the third spot tonight for the Tigers will be the third baseman, Colt Keith. Cleanup hitter tonight will be left fielder Riley Green. Batting fifth at first base, Spencer Torkelson. In the number 6 spot is designated hitter Kerry Carpenter. Batting seventh and playing right field tonight for the Tigers, Winsel Perez. Batting eighth at second base, Hao-Yu Lee. And batting ninth and catching tonight for the Tigers is Jake Rogers. So again, the Tigers lineup, McGonigal, Vierling, Keith, Green, Torkelson, Carpenter, Perez, Lee, and Rogers. And on the mound tonight for the Texas Rangers is going to be Jack Leiter. Hitting his 7th start of the season, 1-2 record, 5.17 ERA, 12 walks, 33 strikeouts in 31 1/3 innings. So it will be Kevin McGonigal leading it off in the bottom of the first for Detroit off a Leiter. McGonigal on the season hitting .310, 2 home runs. He's drove in 14. He leads the Tigers in batting average this year so far. As McGonigal steps in. Seeing a lot of, obviously, Tigers jackets, as well as a lot of Pistons gear in the stands tonight. Pistons eliminated the Magic in Game 7 of the NBA playoffs earlier today. First pitch, bottom one, is popped up on the infield. Under it is Young, and he's got it. One pitch, one out in the bottom of the first, and it will bring up the number 2 hitter for the Tigers, Matt Vierling. Vierling hitting at .212 on the year, 1 home run. He's drove in 11. Pitch from Leiter is a strike to Vierling. Oh, 1 pitch is a swing and a miss, and it's quickly 0-2. Now on Vierling. Oh, 2 pitch. Outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes now, the count on Vierling. Leiter set to go and delivers the 1-2 pitch to Vierling. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Vierling goes down on strikes. And it'll bring up the number 3 hitter, Colt Keith. Keith on the season hitting .326. Six RBI, so I stand corrected. But Keith is actually the RBI leader for the Tigers, not McGonigal. First pitch to Keith is a strike. Strike 1 pitch to Colt Keith is downstairs. That'll even the count 1-1. 1-1 pitch on the way from Leiter to Keith. Fouled away, and it's now a ball and 2 strikes. Time called by Keith as he steps out of the box. And now we're set to go. 1-2 pitch from Leiter to Keith. Called strike 3 right at the knees. Keith Gall goes down looking, and the Tigers retired 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first. We head to inning number 2. Downtown Detroit on a Sunday night. Rangers and Tigers, no score. It's going to be Evan Carter leading it off here in the top of the second for the Rangers. As these two teams mentioned, finale of this 3-game series. Rangers will head to the Bronx after this. They get a day off tomorrow and start that series on Tuesday. Tigers will stay at Comerica Park and entertain the Red Sox for a series. That will start tomorrow night. Tigers come in half a game behind first place Cleveland in the American League Central. Rangers come in a game and a half behind the first place Athletics in the American League West. Athletics winning earlier today, 7-1 over Cleveland. So the Tigers, with a win here, will tie Cleveland atop the AL Central standings. So here it'll be Evan Carter leading it off here in the top of the second for the Rangers. Carter on the season hitting .177, 3 home runs. He's drove in 9. Update in the Stanley Cup playoffs, Game 7 between the Canadiens and Lightning. Lightning have tied that up. It is now 1-1 with 2.5 to go in the second period. Winner of that moves to round 2 against the Buffalo Sabres. And they're just about to tip off Game 7 in Cleveland in the NBA playoffs between the Cavaliers and the Raptors. I don't believe a home team has lost a game yet in that series, thanks to RJ Barrett's heroics for the Raptors in Game 6. Winner of that game advances to the second round. Strike 1 here to Carter to lead off the top of the second. Hanafy's 0-1 pitch is right down the middle. Strike 2. Quickly 0-2 here on Evan Carter to lead off the Rangers' second inning. .0-2 pitch down low. 1-2 now the count on Evan Carter. .1-2 pitch from Hanafy to Carter is fouled away. Carter stays alive at 1-2. Again, more bullpen action here for the Tigers, as it's going to be one of those bullpen games for them tonight. It's 1-2, misses outside, 2-2. That's Brant Herter warming up for the Tigers in the bullpen. Two pitch on the way. Outside, and that will now fill the count, 3-2. Payoff pitch on the way to Carter from Hanafy. On the ground, a second. Easy play there. And the throw on to first base in time to retire Carter for the first out in the top of the second. And it will bring up Ezekiel Duran. Duran on the season hitting .277, has a home run. He's drove in 8. Strike one. Hannafy delivers the strike one pitch to Duran. That's a little low. Counts even 1-1. One pitch on the way to Duran. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Now the count. One-two pitch. Bouncer on one hop to short. Easy throw over to first. Duran is retired, and that will be the second out here in the Rangers' second inning. That will bring up Josh Smith. Bases empty and 2 outs. Smith hitting .202 on the season. He's drove in 6. Hannafy's delivery to Josh Smith. Ball 1. .1-0 offering. That's popped up. Left center field. And under it for the catch is Riley Green, and the Rangers go 1-2-3. In the top of the second, we head to the bottom of the second inning. Rangers and Tigers, 0-0. It's going to be the middle third of the Tigers' order, as they were retired in order in the top of the first. So let's see if that was when we come to the top of the third, let's see if that was the end of the night for Hannafy on the mound. Riley Green will lead it off for the Tigers here in the bottom of the second inning. Green on the season is a .298 hitter. 4 home runs. He's drove in 19 on the year. So looking at the first little bit over a month into the Major League Baseball season, you look at right now, Dodgers were still heavy World Series favorites trying to three-peat this year. They still are, but the Yankees are looking like this could be one of Aaron Boone's best Yankee teams since taking over as the manager of the New York Yankees. They won again today. They have now won 13 of 15. The Cubs, meanwhile, in the National League, they won their 11th in a row at home today. Haven't been nearly as successful on the road away from the friendly confines there at Wrigley Field, but they are in that National League Central, where, as mentioned at the beginning, every team in that National League Central is over 500. So on we go here, bottom of the second, back here, no Riley Green stepping in to lead it off against Jack Leiter. Jack Leiter back in the ballpark where he made his Major League debut back in 2024. Tigers kind of lit him up in that game, but here we go. Bottom 2. First pitch to Riley Green at the knees for strike 1. Strike one pitch. Swing and a miss. Green was swinging for the fence there on a hard swing. It's 0-2. 0-2 pitch. Just getting a piece of that one to foul it off. Green back in the box and awaits Leiter's 0-2 pitch. And here it is. Foul back. Again, the count stays 0-2. Oh, 2 pitch misses a little outside. 1-2 now. Do want to mention something at the next half inning. If there are any regular viewers tuning in, that's changed a little bit since last time I went on. 1-2 is fouled off. Count stays 1-2. I'll announce that here at the half inning break. Another 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Third consecutive strikeout for Leiter, and one down in the inning, and it'll bring up Spencer Torkelson. Torkelson on the year hitting .224. Got 5 home runs on the season. He's drove in 12. Strike 1 to Spencer Torkelson. A 1 pitch. That's right there at the knees, and Torkelson's in an 0-2 hole. Oh, 2 pitch on the way from Leiter to Spencer Torkelson. That's a little high. 1-2. One-two pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. 4th strikeout in a row for Leiter. 2 down here in the bottom of the second. And here it will be Kerry Carpenter, the number 6 hitter in the Tigers lineup. Carpenter hitting .211 on the year. 6 home runs. He's drove in 17. Tied for team high in home runs on this Tigers team with Dylan Dingler, who has the night off, at least starting anyway. Strike 1. Oh, 1 is foul, and now it's 0-2. Comes the 0-2 pitch. Called strike 3 at the knees. And Leiter strikes out his 5th hitter in a row. 6 up, 6 down for Detroit. No score as we head to the 3rd from Comerica Park. So Leiter in control right now. At least through the first 6 hitters, as we are scoreless heading to the 3rd. Said I had an announcement that I wanted to make. If you're a regular viewer of my channel, or even if you're not, I always live stream on YouTube, and I was switching back and forth on my live stream. go on 2 platforms a night, always on YouTube, and then I was flipping back and forth between Kick and Twitch. Twitch account is no longer active, so if you were in, well, I haven't deactivated yet, but I'm going to. So if you did follow me on Twitch, that is going to be no more. I am right now just doing YouTube and Kick. So my Twitch live stream will be no longer active as soon as I get around to deactivating the page, but there's going to be no new streams on my Twitch account. So it's just going to be YouTube and Kick for the time being. I'm going to try to find another platform to go to as well, but for now, it is just going to be the 2, YouTube and Kick. Again, when I come up with another streaming platform, I will make that announcement, but just YouTube and Kick on my live streams on a nightly basis right now. So I wanted to make that announcement. As we head to the third here, as we go back to this one, it'll be the number 9 hitter for the Tigers, Kyle Higashioka, to lead it off, the Ranger catcher. Hitting .222 on the year. He's got 1 home run. He's drove in 3. Rangers do have 2 hits in this game, but they stranded the 2 base runners back in the first inning. And Hannafy is back out to at least start the third inning on the mound. First pitch is a strike to Higashioka. 0-1 pitch is lifted in the air to center field, barely having to move out there is Vierling, and he's got it for the first out. Here in the top of the third inning. And back we come to the top of the order. Brandon Nimmo started the game with a single to center, and that is now the last pitch thrown tonight by Hannafy, as he will be pulled after an inning and 2/3, gave up just 1 hit and did have a strikeout. Brant Herter will come in to pitch for the Tigers, making his 14th appearance of the year. He is 3-0 on the year. 1.84 ERA. He's walked 3 and struck out 10 in 14 and 2/3 innings. So the third pitcher tonight for Detroit. So with Hannafy's inning and 2/3 tonight, he has still, this season, although this is only his 3rd appearance, but he has still not allowed any runs. Hannafy, a nice, like what I've seen out of him, nice young pitcher for the Tigers. So we have a pitching change this coming week, pending on what my work schedule. I do still have a full-time job, and that's been very hectic. That's why I haven't been on my live stream for about a week and a half before tonight. But work schedule permitting, coming up this coming week, as much as I can, I'm going to go on, and it's going to be a lot of college softball on the live stream this week, as we're getting into conference tournament play this week before NCAA regionals in softball kickoff next week. So there's going to be a lot of college softball live streams here coming up over the next couple, 2-3 weeks, as we get into postseason tournament time for baseball, or for softball, and then college baseball will be right around the corner in about 3-4 weeks. So we're going to have a lot of college action here coming up on the live stream channel over the next few weeks, starting this week with some college softball postseason tournament action. So back here, here's Nimmo. First pitch is a strike from Herter. Strike one pitch to Nimmo's outside. Counts evened up, a ball and a strike. One pitch. In the air, left field. That will get out of play. 1-2. One-two pitch. Called. Strike three. Nimmo caught looking. There's the second out in the inning, and it will bring up Andrew McCutchen. So the pitchers on both sides have combined for 8 strikeouts already in this game. Pitch to McCutchen's outside for ball one. McCutchen flew out back in the first inning. 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss by McCutchen. Counts even, a ball and a strike. One pitch. There's a strike at the knees. It's now 1-2 on Andrew McCutchen. Herder looks in and delivers the 1-2. That's way high. 2-2. Two pitch to McCutchen is popped up on the infield. Who's calling for it? It's going to be Lee, the second baseman, and the catch is made. And the Rangers go 1-2-3 in the top of the third. Bottom of the third we go. Good pitchers duel so far. No score. Rangers and Tigers through 2.5. Update on the Stanley Cup and NBA playoff games. Second intermission in Game 7 between the Canadiens and Lightning in the NHL. That is 1-1. Winner moves on to round 2 to face the Buffalo Sabres. And Game 7 of the Raptors-Cavaliers in the NBA underway. Just under 4 minutes to go first quarter. Raptors have an early 10-point lead in Cleveland, 22-12. Winner of that series will head to the East semis to face the Detroit Pistons, who eliminated the Magic earlier today, 116-94. So it was looking a little bleak for the top seed in the East Pistons for a long while in that series. But they just absolutely steamrolled the Magic in the second half of the game on Friday and all the way through this one as they cruised in this Game 7. So the Pistons do advance to take on the winner of that Raptors-Cavaliers game tonight in the second round. So we head now to the bottom of the third inning. Be the bottom third of the Tigers' order as Winsil Perez will lead it off here at the bottom of the third. Perez hitting 170 on the season, couple homers. He's drove in 5. So Jack Leiter back to the mound, son of longtime Major League pitcher Al Leiter. Had a pretty good Major League career. First pitch, bottom 3, is on the outside corner for strike 1. Strike one pitch on the way to Perez from Leiter. On the ground to second. Easy play there over to first, and there's the first out here in the bottom of the third inning. Brings up Hao-Yu Lee, hitting 200 on the season. He's got a home run. He's drove in 4. That ground ball right there by Perez stopped the string of 5 consecutive strikeouts for Leiter. First pitch to Lee from Leiter. Outside corner, strike one. Strike one pitch. That just... Oh, the first base umpire says Lee swung at it. So it's 0-2. So Leiter ahead of Lee here, 0-2. And the 0-2 pitch downstairs, a ball and 2 strikes. Leiter looks in again on Lee and delivers the 1-2 pitch. Fouled away. Lee stays alive. One, two. That's downstairs. That'll even the count 2-2. Two. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. That is strikeout number 6 for Jack Leiter. 2 down here in the third. And here's the Tigers catcher, Jake Rogers. Rogers hitting 133 on the year. He's drove in 4. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Strike 1 pitch to Rogers. Little high, 1-1. With this first pitch strike here, Leiter has started every Tigers hitter out with a first pitch strike so far. So he's gotten the Tiger hitters behind in the count early every time. 1-1 is popped in the air to right center field. Easy play. And the catch made in right field. 9 up, 9 down for Leiter. The first time through the lineup as we head to the 4th in Detroit. Rangers, Tigers, nothing doing. Be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters due up for the Rangers. Seager, Young, and Berger in the top of the 4th inning. So it will be Corey Seager leading it off in the 4th for the Rangers. Seager struck out in the first inning. That was back against Holton, who started this game on the mound for the Tigers. Only pitched the first 2/3 of an inning. Just 2 hits in the game so far. Both of them belong to the Rangers back in the first inning, but they stranded the 2 runners on base. There's been nothing ever since then. Seager to lead it off here in the 4th against Herter. First pitch, top 4. Seager fouls it off, first base side, strike 1. Strike 1 pitch from Herter to Seager. There's strike high in the strike zone, 0-2. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Seager goes down for the second time on strikes. And it'll bring up Josh Young. Singled back in the first inning, but was stranded. First pitch is a little off the plate downstairs, ball 1. Young looks in on Herter and the 1-0 pitch. Young hits it foul, right side. Will it be playable? Yes, it is. Torkelson makes the catch. Fell on his keister as he made the catch, but hung on to the baseball. 2 outs. That was a tough play there by Torkelson. But nice concentration to stay with it. And actually, at the last minute there, it's a good thing Torkelson caught that, because at the last minute there, the ball flew back into fair territory where Torkelson caught that. It is a strong wind, 19 miles an hour out to left field. Berger swings and misses for strike 1. Showing the flags now at Comerica Park, and they are blowing pretty considerably. Here's the strike 1 pitch. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Pitch. Bounced foul. Berger stays alive. Pitch. That's a little high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One, 2 misses. Counts now even, 2-2. That pitch is on the ground to third. Long throw across the diamond in time. 1-2-3 in the 4th. Go the Rangers. We head to the bottom of the 4th. In Detroit, still 0-0. Rangers and Tigers. Back to the top of the order for the Tigers here in the bottom of the 4th. Now that they've seen Leiter once. Let's see now what the second time through the order, what the Tigers can do now. Now that they've seen Leiter. Leiter's only thrown 34 pitches in this game, 27 of them for strikes. As it will be McGonigal, the top of the order, leading it off here in the bottom of the fourth. For the Tigers, as they look to get back a game over 500 and tie Cleveland atop the AL Central. Rangers looking to get the win here and pull within a game of the first place Athletics in the American League West. So McGonigal steps in to lead off the bottom of the fourth for the Tigers. First pitch, bottom four to McGonigal. Ball one. McGonigal popped out back in the bottom of the first. That's on the inside corner for strike one. Raptors 26, Cavaliers 24 at the end of the first quarter in that game 7 in the NBA. 1-1 to McGonigal's fouled away, and the count now goes to 1-2. One-two pitch from Leiter to McGonigal is hit foul. McGonigal will stay alive. One-two pitch. Outside, 2-2. Here comes the 2-2. McGonigal sends it in the air to left, barely having to move out there in left field is Duran, and he's got it for out number 1 here in the bottom of the fourth. And the batter will be Matt Vierling. Vierling was a strikeout victim his first time. Been one of 6 strikeouts victims so far against Jack Leiter tonight. Pitch is outside for ball 1. One-0, swing and a miss. 1-1 now the count. One pitch downstairs, 2-1. Two-one pitch. Hit to second, and the throw over to first in time for the second out. And it'll bring up Colt Keith with the bases empty and 2 outs. Leiter's pitch to Keith is upstairs for ball 1. Keith was also a strikeout victim his first time up. 1-0 pitch is right at the knees for strike 1. Now we're going to have our first ABS challenge of the night, as Keith does not think that was a strike. So let's see if he's right. He is not right. It did hit the corner, so Tigers lose one of their ABS challenges. They're down to 1. One pitch downstairs. 2-1 now the count on Colt Keith. Keith sends it into center field, but right at the center fielder Carter, and he grabs it. And another 1-2-3 inning for Jack Leiter. We head to the 5th. Tigers, Rangers, no score. Well, if you're a fan of Major League Baseball, you've obviously been hearing the talk about Major League Baseball expansion. It's been really discussed here a little bit more in depth, it sounds like, over the last couple weeks. And Commissioner Rob Manfred wants to start a process before he's retiring in 2029. He wants to start a process of expansion before that, as talking about going to 32 teams, which is highly likely. It looks like Nashville and Salt Lake City are the front runners at this point. Other cities, Portland is in the discussion, Charlotte, Austin, Texas, Orlando, Vancouver, Montreal. Oakland is in this, but I mean, Oakland just lost the A's a few years back, so I can't see them in the pictures. But it looks like the tentative plan, if they do go to 32 teams, it's going to be still the American League and National League. It looks like it's going to be 4-team divisions in each league, trying to set the rivalries and everything. Now, in the last expansion, we saw the Astros move over to the American League from the National League. Don't know if there'll be any league changes this time if this goes through. So that's going to be interesting to see. And it'll be interesting to see if they do go to the 8 divisions, how they line them up. Like, I know they want to keep them geographically based, but it'll be interesting to see how those divisions line up. So we'll see how the process goes on that Major League expansion as the days and weeks go on. Here it is 0-0, Rangers and Tigers, as we head to the 5th inning. Evan Carter leading off in the top of the 5th, showing bunt and fouling it for strike 1. Carter grounded out his first time up back in the 2nd inning. A 0-1 pitch right at the knees for strike 2. The 0-2 pitch is off the end of the bat, hit to short, and the throw to first in time to retire Carter for the first out here in the top of the 5th inning. And that will bring up Ezekiel Duran for the Rangers. Duran shows bunt and went after it and missed it for strike one. Strike one pitch is bounced too short. Quick throw in time to retire Duran, and there's 2 outs very quickly here in the top of the 5th inning. It'll bring up Josh Smith with the bases empty and 2 outs. Smith rips this one into right field for a base hit. 3rd hit of the game for the Rangers, their first base runner since the 1st inning. 2-out single here by Smith in the 5th. And that will bring up Higashioka, the Rangers catcher. Worst case scenario here for the Rangers, if Higashioka hits out, you turn the lineup over in the top half of the 6th inning. Higashioka takes a pitch way high for ball 1. He flew out back in the 3rd inning, his first time up. One-zero pitch. That's a little high. It's 2-0. Now, if you're Herder here, you want to be careful. You don't want to walk the number 9 hitter. It's 2-0 pitch. That's downstairs. It's 3-0 on Higashioka. Nimmo, the top of the order, is on deck. And the 3-0 is not even close. That is a 4-pitch walk to the number 9 hitter, Higashioka. And the lineup turns over back to the top of the order, Brandon Nimmo. Nimmo is 1 for 2. He has singled and struck out. 1st and 2nd now with 2 outs for the Rangers in a scoreless 5th inning. And that pitch misses inside. That's 5 in a row now that have missed from Herder. And now Rogers, the Tiger catcher, going out to have a word with his pitcher. Herder looks in now and delivers the 1-0 pitch to Nimmo. That's hit foul and out of play. Counts even now, a ball and a strike. Kind of surprised to see Nimmo hitting away there with Herder's 5 straight balls and the last 3 not being anywhere near the strike zone. But Nimmo went after it. Here's the 1-1 now, and that misses low and outside. Check swing over to the 3rd base umpire, and no swing. 2-1. Oh, that was actually closer than I thought on the replay on the check swing. Two-one pitch to Nimmo. Bouncer back to the pitcher, Herder. He will underhand it over to first, and the Tigers get out of it. Rangers strand 2. Halfway through this one in Detroit, Rangers-Tigers, no score. It'll be the middle third of the Tigers' order. Green, Torkelson, and Carpenter in the bottom of the 5th inning. Against Jack Leiter. Update on the NBA and Stanley Cup playoff games. 5.5 to go, second quarter, Game 7 in Cleveland. Raptors lead the Cavaliers 42-34. Winner advances to the second round and faces the Detroit Pistons. Stanley Cup playoffs, 8 minutes to go, third quarter. Canadians have taken the lead with the third period goal. They lead the Lightning 2-1. Winner of that one advances to the second round against the Buffalo Sabres. Yet to come tonight in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Here, face off a little more than 30 minutes away. Game 1 in the second round series between the Wild and the Avalanche. Avalanche, the President's Trophy winners in the NHL this year. Here we go to the bottom of the 5th. Rangers and Tigers, no score. It's going to be Riley Green to lead it off for the Tigers in the bottom of the 5th. Green was a strikeout victim his first time up against Jack Leiter. First pitch, bottom 5, ball 1. So after starting with a strike on the first 9 hitters for Leiter, he has fallen behind the last 4 hitters. Able to retire the previous 3. Let's see what he does here against Green. It's now 2-0. This is the first time that Leiter's been behind a hitter 2-0. Pitch to Green. That's inside. It's now 3-0. This is the first 3-ball count that Leiter has faced tonight, as he has just cleared the 50-pitch mark. And now the 3-0. And that misses. A 4-pitch walk. And the first base runner of the night for the Tigers is a leadoff walk to Green here in the bottom of the 5th. And it will bring up Spencer Torkelson, who was a strikeout victim his first time up. Pitch to Torkelson. That hits the outside corner for strike 1. Torkelson debating whether he wanted to challenge that, I think, but the Tigers lost an ABS challenge earlier, so they only have 1 left. And with the risk knowing you wouldn't have any left if you lose that one, Torkelson's not challenging. Here's the 0-1. Torkelson fouls it back, and now Torkelson's in an 0-2 hole. (0-2) pitch, instead a throw over to first. Green back in easily. 0-2 pitch to Torkelson from Leiter. Torkelson rips it. Deep left field to the wall and gone. 2-run home run, Spencer Torkelson. And the Tigers lead 2-0 in the bottom of the 5th inning. First hit of the game for the Tigers. Torkelson goes deep to left field. Torkelson's 6th home run of the year, RBIs 13 and 14 to break the scoreless tie here in the bottom of the 5th. He'll bring up Kerry Carpenter, who takes a strike on the outside corner. Carpenter fouls off the 0-1 pitch. It's now 0-2. Pitch is a swing and a miss. Carpenter goes down on strikes. Strikeout number 7 for Leiter. And they'll bring up Winsel Perez. Pitch to Perez. Ball 1. Pitch is foul. That will even the count, a ball and a strike. Perez grounded out back in the 3rd inning, his first at bat. One. Perez rips this one into right field. That is a diving catch out there by Andrew McCutchen to take away at least a double for Perez. Boy, McCutchen laid out and made a fine diving catch in right field. That's a heck of a play by Andrew McCutchen. Hao-Yu Lee will now be the batter. And he'll foul it off right side, strike 1. A 1 pitch is bounced foul. Lee now in an 0-2 hole. 10th time tonight a Tiger hitter has faced an 0-2 count. Pitch, check swing, but Lee went around for strike 3. 8 strikeouts. However, the Tigers get on the board with a walk and then the Torkelson 2-run home run to left. We go to the 6th. Tigers lead at 2-0. Andrew McCutchen, who made that fine defensive play in right field, will be the leadoff batter in the top of the 6th for the Rangers, who now face a deficit, 2-0. So Leiter just cruised through the Tigers lineup the first time through, but ran into problems the second time through, even though he retired him 1, 2, 3 in the fourth. He got behind some hitters and then walked Riley Green on 4 straight pitches to lead off the fifth before Torkelson took him deep. Herter will be back on the mound again for the Tigers. He's gone 2 2/3 innings of relief. He now stands to be the winning pitcher. McCutchen will lead it off here in the top of the sixth for the Rangers. 0 for 2 tonight is McCutchen. As the Rangers will now have to come from behind. Rangers had 2 runners on in the first, but stranded them. They had 2 runners on last inning, but couldn't get either of them across. McCutchen goes after the first pitch and lines it past the diving shortstop into left center field. McGonigal couldn't quite get to that one, and McCutchen starts off the sixth with a leadoff single to left center. And it will bring up Corey Seager. Seager 0 for 2. He has struck out both his prior at-bats. Pitch to Seager right down the middle for strike 1. Oh, 1 pitch is swing and a miss. 0-2 now on Corey Seager. Oh, 2 pitch. Bouncer to first. They'll throw to second. 1 back to first. In time. Double play. Torkelson made the play at first. He threw to second to get the lead runner, and there was still time to go back to first base. And that will be the end of the night on the mound for Herter. Pretty good performance for Herter in relief. 3 1/3 innings, gave up 2 hits, walked 1, and struck out 2. But no runs coming across. And the 4th Tigers pitcher of the night coming into the game is going to be hang on a minute. It's going to be, well, who is this coming into the game? Ricky Vanasco coming into the game to pitch for the Tigers. Like his first appearance of the season on the mound for Vanasco. Comes in with the bases empty and 2 outs. First pitch is a ball high and inside. Ricky Vanasco being called up from AAA today, actually. 1-0 is a strike. That evens the count 1-1. 1-1 pitch is bounced to short. Long throw is a wild one. So a bad throw there from McGonigal at short. Allows Young to get on. That'll probably be an E6. That will be an error on McGonigal. Well, no, they're giving Young a hit on that. So it'll bring up Berger. So Vanasco being called up today from AAA Toledo and getting right in the action for the Tigers. As the 0-1 pitch is foul. 0-2 now on Berger, who has struck out and grounded out in his prior 2 at-bats tonight. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Vanasco comes in and gets a K. Rangers strand a runner. We go the bottom of the 6th. Still, the Tigers leading the Rangers 2-0. It'll be Rogers and then the top of the order, McGonigal and Vierling, due up for the Tigers here in the last of the 6th inning. So the Rangers just have not been able to come up with that key hit tonight. As they now have 5 hits in the game, but they have stranded 5 runners. Double play took away a threat this inning. Tigers have had just 2 base runners tonight. They had the walk to Riley Green and then the 2-run home run by Torkelson. That's been all the scoring tonight so far. So it'll be Rogers to lead it off here in the last of the 6th for the Tigers. He is 0 for 1 so far in the game. Just about at halftime in Game 7 of that NBA series between the Raptors and Cavaliers. That game now tied at 49. A minute to go, 3rd period in Tampa. Game 7 in the NHL. Canadians still lead the Lightning 2-1. Sure, the Lightning have pulled their goalie. Strike 1 here to Rogers to lead off the bottom of the 6th. Oh, 1, a swing and a miss. Counts now 0-2 on Jake Rogers. 0-2 pitch. Rogers fouls it back to stay alive. Here comes the 0-2. That is lined into center field, and that is a diving attempt, but it's going to get past. Carter into center field, rounding second, and heading for third is Rogers, and he's in at third, standing up with a leadoff triple here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Carter dove for it in center field, but couldn't squeeze it, and the ball got past him, which allowed Rogers to keep running around the bases. So a leadoff triple for Rogers here in the bottom of the sixth. And it will reset the lineup to the top of the order, McGonigal. McGonigal, the early favorite for Rookie of the Year in the American League, takes a strike on the inside corner here. You don't want to fault Carter there because he made a diving effort to try to get the ball, but unfortunately it just ended up going past him when he missed it. That ball lifted to left and foul. McGonigal down 0-2. Boy, he just missed that diving catch too. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. From Leiter to McGonigal. That is lined into right for a base hit. Rogers will come in to score. RBI single for McGonigal makes it 3-0 here in the sixth inning. And it will bring up Veerling. Swing and a miss on the first pitch to Veerling here for strike one. RBI number 15 on the season for Kevin McGonigal on that RBI single. 0-1 pitch misses high. Counts now even, a ball and a strike. One pitch. Swing and a miss by McGonigal, or by Veerling. 1-2. Colt Keith is on deck. One-two pitch right there for strike three. Veerling looked back at the home plate umpire, but is not going to challenge it. Going to walk back to the dugout, and that's strikeout number 9 for Leiter. That's a good pitch. I think it's wise he didn't challenge that. Here's Keith. 0 for 2 on the night for Colt Keith. Lines this one foul for strike one. Strikeout and a line out tonight for Keith. 0-1 is a bouncer. This is going to be a tough play. Barehanded by Leiter. Throws to first in time to retire Keith. Fine play there by Leiter, barehanding the ball. That was his only chance to try to throw out Keith at first base. And he makes the play. It'll bring up Riley Green now. 0 for 1. He has struck out and he has walked. He walked last inning and scored on the Torkelson home run. And strike one here. Oh, 0-1 pitch, a swing and a miss. Counts now 0-2. Oh, 0-2 pitch. That's hit foul. Green will stay alive. Oh, 0-2 pitch. On the ground to second. Easy play here. Throw to first in time, and the Tigers done. In the bottom of the sixth inning, but they add a run on the RBI single from McGonigal. Tigers strand their first runner on the bases tonight. We head to the seventh. Tigers lead the Rangers 3-0. It's going to be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters for the for the Rangers. Carter, Duran, and Smith. I don't know where I got Angels from. Here in the seventh inning. Now in a 3-run hole. Three runs, 3 hits for the Tigers. No runs, 5 hits for the Rangers. Rangers have left 5 men on base. And Vanasco, who was called up today from AAA Toledo, got the final out there in the top of the 6th inning, and we'll see if they send him back out here in the 7th. It is going to be Vanasco back out here in the top of the 7th. Yeah, you got a 3-run lead. You know, you just called him up from the minors today. Yeah, see what he can give you. Why not? These two teams will meet again for a series over the 4th of July weekend in Arlington. Well, we've got a mascot competition here. There's Sparty, the Michigan State mascot, making an appearance tonight. Detroit Lions mascot out there. I drew a blank on his name right now. 0-1 is now 0-2 as Vanasco starts off Carter with 2 strikes here in the 7th inning. 0-2 pitch is lifted in the air to left center. Easy play out there for the left fielder, Riley Green, and he squeezes it for the first out here at the top of the 7th inning. Ezekiel Duran will now be the batter for Texas. Duran is 0 for 2 tonight. Strike one. Of course, Paws, the Tigers mascot. Trying to liven up the crowd at Comerica Park. 0-1 misses high. Ball and a strike. Lions mascot. Now that's driving me nuts. What is his name? 1-1 pitch. Lined into left field. That's a fair ball. This will be extra bases for Duran as he rounds first and pulls in at second with a one-out stand-up double here in the top of the 7th inning. Trying to get a Rangers rally going. And now Josh Smith will be the batter. Rory, that's right. Ball one here to Josh Smith. One-0 pitch. Swing and a miss by Smith. That'll even the count 1-1. Smith singled back in the 5th inning. He's 1 for 2 tonight. Hooper, the Pistons mascot, also has made an appearance. His Pistons advancing to round 2 in the NBA playoffs, eliminating the Magic earlier today. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Vanasco to Smith. That's downstairs. The count's now 3-1. Higashioka is on deck. The pitch upstairs for ball 4, and that will bring the tying run to the plate for the Rangers. In the man of Higashioka. He walked his last time up, and now the Tigers bullpen starting to stir again. Didn't see who that was taking his jacket off. And now Rogers going out to the mound to have a word with his pitcher, Vanasco. That's Kyle Finnegan that is starting to loosen in the Tiger bullpen. So Higashioka steps up as the tying run here for the Rangers with 1 out and 2 on in the top of the 7th. Pitch is a strike at the knees to Higashioka. Top of the order, Brandon Nimmo is on deck. Duran, the runner at second. Smith, the runner at first. 0-1 pitch is lined foul, third base side. It's now 0-2. Finnegan's getting loose pretty quick there in the bullpen. 0-2 is foul. Higashioka stays alive. Oh, 2 pitch on the way again to Higashioka. That gets away, and the runners will move up to second and third. That's going to be a wild pitch. So now 2 runners in scoring position for Texas. One-two pitch outside, 2-2. Two-two. A bouncer to first. That's going to stay fair. That's going to get a run home. Stepping on the bag for the out. But Duran comes in to score, and the Rangers are on the board. It's 3-1. Smith advances to third. So an RBI ground out for Higashioka gets the Rangers on the board. And the batter will be Brandon Nimmo as we're back to the top of the order. Nimmo is 1 for 3 tonight, takes a ball. One-zero pitch downstairs. It's 2-0 now on Brandon Nimmo. Andrew McCutcheon, the on-deck hitter for the Rangers. 2-0 pitch. Nimmo fouls this one off. Counts now 2-1. Here's the pitch, and that's a strike. 2-2 now on Nimmo. And it looks like we have a pinch. Jock Peterson looks like is in the on-deck circle, is going to bat for McCutcheon. 2-2 pitch, a swing and a miss. Strike 3. Vanasco gives up 1, but keeps the lead as Smith is left stranded at third. Stretch time in Detroit. Tigers still lead at 3-1. 5, 6, and 7 hitters due up for Detroit. Torkelson, Carpenter, and Perez due up in the bottom of the 7th. Again, a reminder coming up on the live stream here on my YouTube and Kick channels. Don't know the days I'll be on or anything, but it's NCAA softball conference tournament action all week long. I'll try to keep a better update on my page as the week goes on when I have a better idea as to when I'm going to be able to jump on. But conference tournament action and NCAA softball coming up on the live stream as often as possible all week this week. And here we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Jack Leiter at 81 pitches is back out for the 7th. Hasn't pitched badly. Had a couple of, I wouldn't even say a couple bad innings. He gave up a bad pitch to Torkelson. They took him deep in the 5th. He's only given up 3 hits. His offense has only given him a run of support tonight. So here is Torkelson to lead it off in the bottom of the 7th inning. He hit that 2-run home run back in the 5th that dented the scoreboard for the first time tonight. Leiter has struck out 9 Tigers tonight. Seems like a long between inning break here. Now it looks like we're finally set to go. Tigers 6 outs away from winning the series and pulling into a first-place tie with Cleveland in the American League Central. Again, I know we're only at the beginning of May, but still want to keep yourself, you don't want to dig yourself too big a hole like the Mets and Phillies did there in April in the National League East, where they're going to be having to face an uphill climb the rest of the year. Although the Phillies won again today, they've been playing a lot better now under interim manager Don Mattingly. There we go. First pitch, bottom 7 to Torkelson. A swing and a miss. Strike 1. Strike 1 pitch. A little high. Counts even now 1-1. One is hit foul, first base side. Counts now 1-2. One-two pitch outside, 2-2. Two-two pitch. Torkelson fouls it back to stay alive. Two-two. That misses low, and that runs the count full. Payoff pitch. Foul back, and we'll do it again. Be the 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Another 3-2. Swing and a miss. Torkelson strikes out. That is strikeout number 10 tonight for Jack Leiter. And it will bring up Kerry Carpenter. Carpenter 0 for 2 tonight. He struck out both prior at-bats against Leiter. And first pitch swinging here is into right field for a base hit. Carpenter with a 1-out single to right. 4th hit of the night for the Tigers. And it'll bring up Winslow Perez. Perez is 0 for 2 tonight. And the pitch, ball 1. 1-0 pitch to Perez. Up high, 2-0. That was pitch number 90 on the night for Jack Leiter. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Inside, now 3-0 on Perez. Hao-Yu Lee is on deck for the Tigers. 3-0 hits the inside corner, strike one. Tigers do have an ABS challenge left, but they don't use it here. Three-one. On the ground to first, a bobble, and the underhand throw to first in time. There would have been a chance at a double play there, but there was a little bit of a bobble there from Berger, so they can only get the one out at first base. 2 down now, as Carpenter moves into scoring position now. Hao-Yu Lee will be the batter now with the runner at second and 2 outs. Pitching coach Jordan Teague's out to have a talk with his pitcher on the mound, Leiter. See if this is Leiter's last inning. I said he hasn't pitched badly at all, just gave up a bad pitch to Torkelson back in the 5th, which Torkelson took deep. And hasn't gotten any runs, so just a run of offensive run support tonight that his team's given him. Here's Lee as he takes a high strike, 0-1. Lee has struck out both prior at-bats against Leiter tonight. Lee fouls the 0-1 pitch off. It's now 0-2. Oh-2 pitch. Up high, 1-2. This will be pitch number 97 from Mark Leiter. And it's down low, 2-2. Two-two pitch from Leiter to Lee. Bouncer to second off the glove and into right center field. Carpenter comes around to score. And the Tigers go back up by 3, 4-1. I presume that's going to be an RBI single for Lee. Diving effort there by Smith at second base, but couldn't come up with it. And once it got past him, Carpenter scores easily. And that is going to be the end of the night on the mound for Jack Leiter. So Leiter out after 6 2/3 innings. He will give way to the bullpen. And by the way, we do have a scoring change from earlier in the top half of this inning. That hit by Josh Young to McGonigal that was ruled an infield hit. They have now changed the scoring on that and have given McGonigal an error. So the scoring change on that one. And they did give Lee a base hit RBI on this last play. So the new Texas pitcher in relief of Jack Leiter is Tyler Alexander. Alexander on for the 15th time this year. He's 1-0, ERA of .59. He's only given up one earned run, 3 walks and 12 strikeouts in 15 1/3 innings. Tigers back to their 3-run lead. As they got that run back, the Rangers scored in the top half of the 7th. Here's Rogers. 1 for 2 tonight. Takes ball 1. Rogers tripled and scored back in the 6th. One-zero pitch is into right field, and it's going to fall in front of McCutchen for a base hit. Rounding second and heading to third is Lee, and the Tigers have runners at the corners with 2 outs trying to add to their lead here in the 7th. Second hit tonight for Rogers. 6 Tigers hit. They've now out-hit the Rangers tonight 6-5. And we're back to the top of the order in McGonigal. McGonigal's 1 for 3 RBI single last inning. And the Tigers have runners at the corners here with 2 outs. A run already in here in the 7th. Pitch to McGonigal is a strike on the inside corner. Oh, 1 pitch from Alexander. McGonigal into right field for a base hit. Lee comes in to score. RBI single for McGonigal. Now they've got the runner trapped off third, but Rogers dives back in. He almost made too wide of a turn coming around third. But he dives back in, and now on the throw to third, McGonigal takes second base. So an RBI single for McGonigal. He advances to second on the throw to third. It's 5-1. And Vierling will be the batter. Boy, Rogers made a wide turn around third there on a single. And then a wise base running play for McGonigal to take second. Here's Vierling, sends it into center. That could be trouble, and it drops in. This will score 2 more. Into second with a double is Vierling, and the Tigers have broke this thing open here in the 7th inning. It is now 7-1. That's the second diving attempt in center field that Carter's tried to make tonight, but has come up empty both times. A 4-run bottom of the 7th for the Tigers as they now lead this game 7-1. And a hit back to the pitcher here off the bat of Keith. And the underhand throw to Berger to end the inning. But the Tigers score 4 times in the bottom of the 7th to break it open. We head to the 8th in downtown Detroit. Tigers lead the Rangers 7-1. So the final line on Leiter, as a couple of those runs were charged to him, 6 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 5 runs, all of them earned, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts. The 10 strikeouts ties a career high for Jack Leiter. But he stands to pick up the loss here, unless the Rangers have a big rally in their last 6 outs. Pitcher of record on the winning side right now for the Tigers would be Herter. And we are going to see our 5th Tigers pitcher of the night here in the 8th inning, as Kyle Finnegan will come on to pitch. Finnegan is on for the 16th time. He's 1-0. ERA of .57. He has given up 10 walks and 12 strikeouts in 15 2/3 innings. So a pretty high walk count for Finnegan this year. So Vanasco in his debut goes an inning and a third, gives up a hit, 1 run, it was earned. He walked 1 and struck out 2. So not a bad debut for Vanasco on the mound. Getting right in on the action with the Tigers after being called up from AAA Toledo just earlier today. Made the short trip from Toledo up to Detroit. So here's Finnegan into the game. First pitch, top 8, swing and a miss. To a pinch hitter here for the Rangers. They had Jock Peterson in the on-deck circle the top of the 7th inning, but now it is actually Alejandro Osuna that is the pinch hitter, and he's behind here 0-2. Osuna 4 for 16 at the plate this year. Here's the 0-2 pitch from Finnegan inside, ball 1. One-two pitch, a swing and a miss. Osuna goes down swinging, and Finnegan gets a strikeout. And the batter will be Corey Seager. Update from the NBA and Stanley Cup playoffs. The Cavaliers in the 3rd quarter with 4.5 to go now lead the Raptors by 10, 69-59. Again, earlier today, the Pistons eliminated the Magic in Game 7, 116-94. Seager first pitch swinging into right field for a base hit. And Corey Seager has a 1-out single, 6th hit on the night for the Rangers. Stanley Cup playoffs, the Canadiens have eliminated the Lightning 2-1 the final. So the Canadiens are off to round 2 against the Buffalo Sabres. Game 1, second round in the West between the Wild and Avalanche, scoreless midway through the first period. Strike one here to Josh Young. 1 for 3 tonight. Here's the strike one pitch. Ball one. Counts even a ball and a strike. 1-1 pitch. Too Young. Up the middle, hit to short, steps on second, one, throw to first, in time for the double play. I think the Rangers are going to ask for a review here on the play at first. And the Tigers know it because they're not leaving the field yet. There's a little bit of a bobble there. Out at second is clear. The throw to first. Oh, yeah, I think he's safe. Believe that Young beat that at first base, looking at the replay. Here's another close-up view. When does the ball hit? Oh, yeah, he's in there. This should be overturned, and it should be a runner at first with 2 outs for the Rangers. Call at first base was out, but I think this is clearly evidence that he beat it at first. That slight bobble by Lee cost him a double play there, it appears. They're still looking. I'm surprised this is taking as long as it is. That looked pretty clear as day that Young beat that at first base. And they just made the call that's safe at first. So out at second and safe at first. I don't think the out at second was the one being questioned. It was the out at first. So the inning continues for Jake Burger. Burger 0 for 3 tonight in ball one. One 0 pitch to Burger is lined into center field, but playable out there. And the catch made by Vierling to end the top of the 8th inning. Rangers strand 1. We go the bottom of the 8th. Tigers lead this one 7-1. Tigers 3 outs away from moving a game over 500 and moving into a first place tie in the American League Central with Cleveland. Cleveland losing earlier today to the Athletics, 7-1 Athletics. The leaders in the American League West as Texas, barring a big 9th inning rally, is going to fall 2 behind the first place Athletics. Looking at some series coming up here Beginning of the week and going into the midweek, this Tigers team will stay at Comerica Park and take on the Red Sox for a series. That starts tomorrow. Rangers head to the Bronx, start a series with the Yankees. That series will get underway on Tuesday. Rangers have the day off tomorrow. The red-hot Yankees have their finale in their series with the Baltimore Orioles tomorrow before the Rangers come to town. The red-hot Rays look to stay hot in the American League. They take on the AL East rival Blue Jays in a series starting tomorrow. Cubs have won 11 in a row at Wrigley Field. They start a home series with the Reds tomorrow at the friendly confines. Reds were swept in Pittsburgh this weekend. Dodgers head to Houston to start a series with the Astros. That gets underway tomorrow. And the Braves, who are just running away with the National League East right now, they head to Seattle to start a series with the Mariners. That's some of the kind of anticipated series coming up here. For the midweek. Rangers go to the bullpen for the second time and bring on their third pitcher of the night. It's going to be Gavin Collier. Out for the ninth time, has not given up a run yet. Give you the rest of his numbers after this first pitch, which is a strike. 1-0 record for Collier. Walked 3, struck out 5 in 6 1/3 innings this year. Strike one pitch to Riley Green is on the outside corner. It's quickly 0-2. Green is 0 for 2. Walked and scored back in the 5th inning. Green on an 0-2 pitch hits it into left field, curving foul. Count will stay 0-2 on Riley Green. Oh, 2 pitch, a swing and a miss. Green strikes out for the first out. Here in the bottom of the 6th. And the batter will be Spencer Torkelson. Pitch to Torkelson, outside, ball 1. Torkelson hit the 2-run home run back in the 5th. Struck out his other 2 at-bats. 1-0 is fouled. Counts even 1-1. That went off the mask of the catcher Higashioka. One pitch. Torkelson takes right down the middle for strike 2. A ball and 2 strikes now. Torkelson awaits Collier's 1-2 pitch. Hit foul. Torkelson will stay alive. Kerry Carpenter on deck. Collier's 1-2 pitch. Torkelson fouls it off to stay alive. Looking ahead to the Rangers' 9th inning, it's going to be Carter, Duran, and Smith. 6, 7, and 8 hitters due up as that pitch misses high, as the Rangers will need a big 9th inning rally as they're down 6. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Up high, full count. Tigers have done all this damage since the 5th inning. Leiter, who started the game on the mound for the Rangers, retired the first 12 Tigers he faced before running into his problems starting into the 5th inning. Here's the 3-2 payoff pitch. Torkelson swings and misses for strike 3. Torkelson strikes out for the 3rd time tonight. And it will bring up Kerry Carpenter now with 2 outs. Carpenter 1 for 3 tonight and takes a strike here. He has singled and scored a run. Oh, 1 pitch misses high. Counts now 1-1. One pitch on the way from Collier to Carpenter. Carpenter hits it foul, third base side. Counts now 1-2. One-two pitch on the way. Outside, 2-2. Collier looks in and delivers the 2-2 pitch to Kerry Carpenter. Hit foul. Count will stay 2-2. Another 2-2 pitch to Carpenter from Collier. Hit foul again. Good battle here. Another 2-2 pitch. Carpenter lifts it foul. Will this one stay in play? It will not. It'll get into the seats. Another 2-2 pitch. Ball 3. By update in the NBA playoffs, Cavaliers starting to pull away from the Raptors. They now lead 81-65, nearing the end of the 3rd quarter in Game 7. 3-2 payoff pitch is in the air. Who wants it? It's going to be the second baseman, Smith, making the catch. Tigers retired in the 8th. Last chance coming up for the Rangers here in the 9th inning. They trail 7-1. And again, it'll be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters, Carter, Duran, and Smith, here in the 9th for Texas. And the Tigers will go with their 6th pitcher of the night to try to finish this one off and send the Tigers into a first-place tie in the American League Central with Cleveland. Birch Smith on to close this game out. Smith on for the 5th time. He's 0-1, 2.45 ERA, 3 walks, 11 strikeouts in 7 1/3 innings. He's called on to get the final 3 outs here and send the Tigers a game over 500 and win the series against the Rangers. Evan Carter will be the leadoff hitter here in the top of the ninth inning for Texas. Seven runs, 8 hits, 1 error for the Tigers. 1 run, 6 hits, no errors for the Rangers. Rangers have stranded 7 runners on base tonight. Couple defensive changes here for the Tigers. McGonigal, who was at shortstop, moves to third base. And coming into the game at shortstop, there's a strike to lead off the top of the ninth. Zach Short coming in to the game to play shortstop for the Tigers. Pitch from Smith is foul. Carter's grounded out twice and flown out tonight, 0 for 3. Lifted into left field. And Riley Green makes the catch. 1 out here in the ninth inning. And the batter will be Ezekiel Duran. Duran on the night 1 for 3. He has scored the Lone Ranger run back in the 7th inning. That was on an RBI groundout. 1-0 pitch is a strike. That'll even the count 1-1. 1-1 is downstairs. 2-1 now. The count on Duran. Two-one pitch. That's lined into right center field, and a diving catch in right center by Vierling for the second out. The Rangers are down to their final out. Nice catch by Vierling. Be up to Josh Smith to keep the game alive for Texas. Smith is 1 for 2. Crowd at Comerica Park comes to their feet. Ball 1. Smith has singled and walked tonight. 1-0 pitch. Strike 1. And looks like we're going to have our first ABS challenge for Texas. I'm not sure what you have to lose at this point. It is a strike. You know, you're down 6 runs, 2 outs in the 9th inning. You got 2 to use. Why not? Or 2 challenges, I should say. Can't take them with you. 1-1 pitch is lined foul, and now the Rangers are down to their final strike. 1-2 on the way, is in the air to left field, coming on, unable to make the diving catch this time in left field is Riley Green, and Josh Smith is aboard with a 2-out single to keep the game alive for the moment. Boy, Green had that initially, but it just came out of his glove at the last second. Higashioka will now be the batter. Ball one. Higashioka 0 for 2. Walked back in the 5th inning and drove in a run in the 7th with the RBI groundout. Higashioka sends this down the right side and foul. Counts even, a ball and a strike. One to Higashioka's high, 2-1. If Higashioka gets on, the lineup resets, and the top of the order, Nimmo, is on deck. Two-one pitch. Downstairs, now 3-1. Smith takes second base on that pitch. 3-1, a swing and a miss, and once again, the the Rangers are down to their final strike. Everyone on their feet again at Comerica. Bouncer to second. Throw on to first in time. Tigers win it 7-1. Take 2 of 3 over the Texas Rangers. And the Detroit Tigers move into a first-place tie in the American League Central with Cleveland as they move to 18-17 on the season. Rangers fall to 16-18, and they fall 2 games behind the first-place Athletics in the American League West. 7 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for the Tigers. They left 2 on base. 1 run, 7 hits, no errors for the Rangers. They stranded 8 runners on base tonight. So the Rangers had opportunities tonight, just could not come up with that key clutch hit. And then the 4-run 7th inning for the Tigers is just what broke this game open. As the Tigers take the series against the Texas Rangers. And these two teams will meet again in Arlington over 4th of July weekend, as the Rangers will try to return the favor in that series. Herter gets the win for the Tigers. He's now 4-0. Jack Leiter, the loss for Texas. He falls to 1-3 now on the season. We were scoreless until the bottom of the 5th inning. Spencer Torkelson's 2-run home run in the 5th made it 2-0. McGonigal's RBI single to right in the 6th made it 3-0. Rangers got their lone run in the 7th on an RBI groundout by Higashioka. That made it 3-1 before the Tigers just broke it open in the bottom of the 7th inning. RBI single by Lee made it 4-1. Then McGonigal had an RBI single, which made it 5-1, and then the 2-run double by Vierling. That made it 7-1, and that's the final score. The Tigers 7 and the Rangers 1. For a sign-off for the night, another look at the scoreboard across Major League Baseball and an update on the NHL and NBA playoff games. Earlier today in Major League Baseball, the Twins knocked off the Blue Jays 4-3. Twins avoided the sweep in that series. Yankees continue their red-hot streak. They win 11-3 over the Orioles today, heading the Bronx. Pirates sweep the Reds. Pirates win this one today, 1-0. Astros in 10 beat the Red Sox in Fenway 3-1. Nationals avoid the sweep at home by the Brewers by winning today 3-2. Phillies beat the Marlins 7-2. Phillies playing a lot better under interim manager Don Mattingly. The Rays complete the sweep of the Giants with a 2-1 10-inning win. Rays stay red hot in the American League East. Dodgers avoid the sweep in St. Louis as they win it today over the Cardinals 4-1. Cubs win their 11th in a row at Wrigley Field as they beat the Diamondbacks 8-4. Braves complete the sweep of the Rockies out in Denver with an 11-6 win. First place Athletics get a 7-1 win over Cleveland. Cleveland now tied for first in the Central with Detroit. Mets 5, Angels 1 out in Anaheim. Padres knock off the White Sox 4-3. Royals win in Seattle 4-1. And of course here, the Tigers 7 and the Rangers 1. Update from the NBA as the Cavaliers have just pulled away in the second half over the Raptors. 8:40 to go in the fourth. Cavaliers lead the Raptors 95-76. So it looks like the Cavaliers will advance to the second round and take on the Detroit Pistons. Pistons eliminated the Magic earlier today in Game 7, 116-94. NHL playoffs, Game 7 in the East. The Canadiens win in Tampa Bay 2-1. Canadiens advance to round 2, and now the Buffalo Sabres, their next opponent in the second round. Game 1 in the second round in the West between the Wild and Avalanche. We had a goal fest in the first period. At the end of the first period, the Avalanche lead the Wild 3-2 out in Denver. So a high-scoring game there in Game 1 of that second round series. That's going to wrap it up here tonight. Again, my name is John, Sports Bonanza John on YouTube. If you do like my content, really would appreciate a like and subscribe from you. Also on Kick at Sports Kick John, you can follow me there. Again, one more reminder, as I mentioned, no longer on Twitch. So it's just YouTube and Kick, the two streams right now. Look to add a third streaming platform, which when I do, I will announce that. Going to be with you as much throughout this week as I can with NCAA softball conference tournament action taking place this week before the NCAA 64-team bracket for softball is announced next Sunday. Might jump on for that. We'll see, but try and be with you for as much conference tournament action this week in NCAA softball as possible. Appreciate you joining me, everyone. Again, the Tigers take this one 7-1, take the series against the Rangers. I will talk to you sometime throughout the week, hopefully, with some more live stream action. Have yourselves a great rest of your Sunday, everybody. Good night. God bless.